Hype machine, hype machine, hype machine. No one gives a shit about all of this stuff. Your prospects don't want all this. They don't want it. We don't need more BS. What we need is someone to take a stance, to, like, step back and really try to in the right order at the right time.
In this edition of Outbound Fluff, no sales, we're going to cover breaking news in the outbound tech world. Stay tuned for this. If you enjoy it, hit subscribe, drop a comment in the chat below. Let us know what you think of the episode. All right, Ryan, you ready to dive into this one?
Hype machine to the 2nd degree. A year later, who's accessed this and seen any of this stuff actually live? Like, how much bullshit?
This is just baking soda. Don't worry, guys.
How much
baking soda?
How much bullshit can people shove down people's throat?
Seriously,
to extend the life of their products until somebody finally says enough is enough. Like,
well, if you didn't catch it, what we're gonna do today, while I'm mixing my creatine into some water, my pre-workout, is let me make sure I'm ready for this.
Yeah, our new sponsors. Thanks, Outbound operators.
Anytime. By the way, my Wi-Fi has been absolute trash, so hopefully I'm coming through okay. So let's do a quick review. I think this is a good one. If you didn't see, share screen. The CEO of Nooks, Dan, came out sharing his new AI sequencing. Yay! Gosh, you guys have to see Ryan's dance. This is how Ryan feels about sequencers.
You know who this is?
As if, like, let's watch the video and then we'll reply to it. And I think I have the inside scoop about why they're doing this too, which won't be a shocker. But let's take a dive into
Thousands
this.
of the
So Dan's gonna do some nonsense stuff about it. We did this big thing. Hey, you guys know Outreach and Sales Loft, aka sequencers? Well, we now have a thing too. Okay, there it is. That's the feature stack. Sequencing, tasks, email deliverability. They're going to send emails. Sounds really familiar so far. Reimagined. No one's imagined this before. Okay, that's pretty cool though. That's pretty cool. Like doing some stuff like that, but that's cool.
Well, like 6th Sense, who basically just said,
whose CEO
publicly
resigned?
Go look at the public that said that intent data is not real.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. All of these companies, CEOs they're all gone. Every single one of them. All of the like intent data platforms and stuff. But let's keep rolling here. What do they do that's so special?
Since AI email is working so well.
Yeah, exactly. So what's it doing? They're essentially like doing all the steps of the process.
Robo-spamming your TAM.
They identify the prospect, then they enrich with phone number, emails, and they craft an email for you. What's the point of the human? Well, he just hit the call button, and then what happened there? Oh, by the way, it's going to be parallel dialing still.
Oh yeah.
So you're actually not going to reach the person. All right.
By the way, how many battles have you had on a cold call? Let's get our battle card out for a cold call.
Yeah, it's just. If you don't have one of these things, this thing is life changing.
Yeah,
one of these like mixer guys for the creatine.
Yeah, they're the bomb. So sounds like the same BS that we've all heard. Like, let's just throw out some fodder because we can't solve the real problem, which is always the same, right? We need something that could build lists. That's cool if it actually worked. Once we have the list, we have to have a message. That's cool if it actually worked. By the way, if you've ever looked at these agentic messaging systems, they're pretty crap. They're not really going to go anywhere. So that'd be pretty cool if it worked. Hype. And then at the end of the day, the last mile of this is like, let's run a sequence that we already know the 27-step sequence results in what? Outreach in 19? We've run this report before. A 12% response rate is like your top line response, which, by the way, if all you did is know how to call people, you're going to get more than that on the phone anyway. And all you have to do is call them. So cool story, bro. By the way, it reminds me of something. Let's pull up. This was a year ago and I sent it to you. It's like, that reminds me. That looks so cool. Look at this. I don't know. I spent a couple $100,000 on some agency to build me a video. Let's take a look at the Zoom Info version that was released a year ago, promising some of the same things.
And it's not just Zoom Info. It's also Gong. It's also Sales Loft. It's also a Sales Loft who acquired Clary, by the way, to do this. There's more players in the space too. Who else is there? I feel like HubSpot and Salesforce are there too.
Well, and everyone and their mom, including Clay and Claude and all these other agentics saying that they do all this. The problem is, I mean, we do this every single day. It's not great. And it might get there at some point. It may get there at some point, but it's not there. And what we're seeing is this promise that there's this magic bullet to eliminate all of the effort for you to not have to do work so that you can only speak to people who are buying your stuff right now. But newsflash, right? Newsflash. By the way, there's only a small subset of your market that's ever going to be there, and you're not going to find these signals via the web. Like, you have to go and talk to these companies and find that information. He even used it as an example. We're resurfacing a conversation from the CRM where it said that they're evaluating a competitor. So basically, he was talking about, what do we call those, Ronan?
Activated
An
lead.
activated follow-up, which would have
Yeah.
just been identified by calling and saying, hey, they're, and then pass it over to the follow-up. So you don't need all this fancy shit to get there. But let's look at the Zoom version that was out literally a year ago.
All right. I'm trying to find it. Where the hell is this thing?
As if this is a brand new idea. I can't believe this is Zoom info. I can't believe it either.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Maybe they should solve their basic system. And by the way, right after this, let's look at the Zoom info stock. That's performance since this video went out. I'm no joking. Everything you need.
By the way, this was posted
a year ago.
1 year ago. Yada yada yada. Just like talking to the agent. Actionable insight. Wait for it. Where's the best part? Send email to buying group. So it sequences, writes emails, has the data.
Oh, and by the way, let's just go work from home and only play with our kids and not actually do what he's selling. That's what the promise is. Let's keep going.
Oh my god.
Draft an email.
Wait, by the way, the best part of all this. Okay, so you guys got the point, right? A year ago, Zoom Info, who's way better funded, has been at this for over a year, still isn't doing well. But before we get to their stock price to see how Zoom Info is doing.
Has anyone seen these features? You can't go into Zoom Info and talk to an agent and it just delivers all this.
Wait, I got one better. I got one better for you. This was today. What did Henry actually say?
This is today.
Today, Henry said, most SDR leaders are focused on demo set. I couldn't care less. If you want to press me, focus on ACV generated per pipeline or per SDR.
Revenue.
Whoa, a whole year later, the tone has changed from you've had 6 meetings automatically set for you to meetings don't matter. Yeah, we know.
We've been saying that for years. But hold on. Can you please flash Zoom Info stock?
Yeah.
Let's look at the 1-year chart. Let's see what this hype does for companies.
Boy, let's go. Well, so when they IPO'd, they did
pretty well. And then where are we at now? So 1 year ago, go back to January 2025 or February. We're in February now. Holy shit. Okay, go to the beginning. Where were they at the peak? They weren't doing well anyway, but
their stock price cut in half, basically. It went up for a bit. About $12 was the peak.
What's it
around $12? Now it's at $6.
Okay, but what's their market cap? Market capitalization $1 billion.
That's today.
If you go back to when they IPO'd, I think it was $15 billion. Go back to all time.
Yeah, I mean it has their price closing at $51 at their peak.
Go to their peak. Where are they at? Click into there. What does it give you? The market capitalization?
Yeah, no, you got to figure it out. But at their peak, they were at about $70, so it's about 10x market cap.
Anyway, hype machine. No one gives a shit about all of this stuff, including the most important people on the other side. Actually, they do care. They're really frustrated with it. Your prospects don't want all this automated spam. They don't want it, and it's making it more and more difficult. They're making it more and more difficult for any organization to actually start meaningful conversations with their market. And there's got to be a different approach. And unfortunately, for those of you that are trying to do it the right way, we have our work cut out for us because it's becoming more and more and more difficult. These vendors who have hundreds of millions of dollars behind them are creating automated spam cannons that are just blasting every single channel possible with the same nonsense, promising the same story. Everything is AI, everything is agentic, everything is like, hey, this thing is going to do your job for you without you having to do any work anymore.
It's worse. It's worse than that. I mean, you're actually 100% right. Here's another one. This one, I kindly removed all the identifiers. and I decided to mark it up. I'm gonna post this on LinkedIn
Hey, Ronan
tomorrow or
R.
whatever.
Hey, Ronan
Hey, for
R.
that R. You know I have that R in my name so that I can easily spot the LinkedIn spam. This is
Er,
LinkedIn. If you think, by the way, this is the head of outbound at one of these companies. One of these companies that competes with Nux, competes with
mhm.
ZoomInfo.
No thanks.
Hey, Ronan R. Okay, already AI automated. You're likely running cold outbound to finance organizations. Nope, that's a mess. With procurement platform companies like yours, nope, strike two. That's not us. Not even close to us. Yada yada yada. I
We're a
recorded a
procurement
40
platform.
minute,
It's targeting you because of your role at Procoro. You know that,
which is
right?
closed.
Well,
It doesn't
yeah.
even show as active anymore.
Well, but that's what it's targeting you from.
And this
That's
was
how data.
Friday. This was recently. By the way, here's a 40-minute breakdown. No, thank you. Want it? It's free. Nope. Status slower there. By the way, whenever I talk to procurement, still not me. And most people are spending $800 a month and not getting the ROI. We actually see a pretty healthy ROI for our clients when we do this, but yeah, right. And they're also struggling if they work with agencies. Yeah, we're never going to work with an agency. Why would we? Does this look familiar? Asking because I created this 42 plus hours of video. Why would I want all this video? No, no, and no. This is the problem. Is it's like people get lazy. They get lazy looking for the easy button and they cut corners, the wrong corners. You don't want to cut these corners. The corners you want to cut are don't call people who don't answer the phone. That's a corner worth cutting. If you're going to cut anything out, cut out the waste. But if you can actually, this person actually had my attention for a moment, and then that led to outrage.
How had your attention because it said Ronan R?
No, because it was in my DM based on his title and company. I was like, head of outbound? Let me check it out. Head of outbound, maybe that's someone who's looking for help with something.
But he was hoping to sell you a procurement platform.
And that's not even a live conversation, you know?
It's interesting, folks. It's an interesting strokes for different folks. The most interesting piece with Nooks is they started as a virtual sales floor that's actually pretty good, and then they bastardized the crap out of their core product into what is now not even focused on what they aimed at helping solve,
Yeah.
which is virtual remote teams to get
Yeah.
better at cold calling.
Right. You know, I was their one of their first parallel dialer users because I was such a big fan of the virtual sales floor. I had at that time used what the only other alternative, Call Blitz, and I was very unimpressed. It was 3 years ago or so, 4 years ago. It was very buggy.
Hmm.
And I was like, Nux is great. I really enjoyed the interface of the virtual sales floor. And then Rohan, one of the founders, I used to talk to him every week for a short period of time, like a month or two, while he was in this like building phase of this parallel dialer. And I was giving him all this feedback. I started using it, became an early user. I started telling other clients to use it. I eventually started reselling it. But man, have they lost their way. That team is the core team. They have a very impressive work ethic. You know, I'll give them that, and it's very impressive because they've put in double time, overtime, all the time for a long time, and that got them to a point where they're at now, where they've had some success. But it's not going to last if they go down this route of just trying to now compete with ZoomInfo, Gong,
Sales
SalesLoft.
Loft, Outreach.
I don't even know where Outreach is in this race anymore. I feel like they're bowing out pretty fast.
Yeah.
And then you've got
You got to forget about. By the way, Apollo's sitting in the background having this whole vision.
and Apollo. I
Apollo
forgot about
Apollo
them.
Apollo's been doing this whole thing where they have the data and the sequencer for years, the whole agentic workflow. And if you actually look at all the features they built, it's insane what you can build. But then what happens is you get into the actual thing that matters most, which is the quality of the data, and it's still trash. And it's a hard problem to solve for, but it's wild to me that all these lead generation companies continue to forget about the most important piece that drives success in any type of marketing, which is the audience or the list. And it's just riddled with a bunch of terrible data. Instead of hyper focusing on the quality of the contacts in their system, they go for more so that they can power all these cool. It's the same thing with Clay. Power all these like crazy tables that show you all this stuff that when you dig into it, it's just not accurate.
Yeah, this is the
Anyway,
way. Yeah, you know what? It'll be fun to watch the fallout of this. And while
I
that's
don't
happening,
I don't know if it's fun. It's a big problem for people who want to do outbound, right? These folks are not people to champion because they are making it more and more difficult for people who want to do it correctly to have success. And at the end of the day, we play in a space that has a challenging enough environment as you will. Like most people would look at sales as a profession at a lower status. And then if you take cold calling, it's an even lower status. Just the general public doesn't see it as a, I don't know. But at the end of the day, if you do it the right way, we drive the economy, and it's a very important job to do. But you got to really look at yourself in the mirror. If you're trying to push some of these types of products to market, like, you're only making it more and more difficult to allow other businesses that solve real problems to be successful in growing their market share. We don't need more lead generation, automation, BS, vaporware. What we need is someone to take a stance to, like, step back and really try to solve the right problems in the right order at the right time. And then at the end of the day, stop eliminating the most important piece, which is that first meaningful conversation with your market. Like, they're trying to automate that whole thing out, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like you're going to build all this stuff and then spam someone and not actually care about the person on the other side of the message that's being received. And that to me is what needs to change. There's a better way to do it. Obviously, this is what we stand up on our side is trying to help organizations see that, where you lead with a conversational starting message that should be relevant to the people that you're starting to do business with, and just trying to open up or activate them into a conversation when the time's right in a professional, persistent way.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed this edition. We'll do another one like this. Do the breakdown of some of the other tools that are coming out there. Maybe we'll do a breakdown of all the CEOs who recently resigned, like 6sense and the others, after realizing that more vaporware was just feeding the sales and acceleration industrial complex, as Ryan so fondly calls it. But until then, thanks for tuning in. We're your outbound operators. We keep things simple in terms of the stack. Salesforce, run spin, data goes through Titan-X. That's it. Conversation every 3 to 5 dials, one-on-one live. Can't really make that up, and you can't remove the human from the loop on that. But until then, hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and tune into the next one.
Peace.